Thank you. Good afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk about what quite recent technology bifacial solar panels can do to the reintegration in the smart grid, perhaps. So, basically we have a small case of panel here which looks similar, almost similar at least, on both sides. The good thing is that you can use it in another way. So I'm taking out my sun here, which is basically this. You see it here. Normally you would put your panel like this on a rooftop and you will have your sun shining down and then reflect back up on a bifacial panel. But this one has the possibility of putting it vertical, because when you put it vertical and the sun starts here in the east and goes about, ending up in the west, then you have a totally other picture. You can use the panels for another purpose as well. So let's see what we have here. Well, basically here is an example in how we have used the panels vertical, and what you can do then, you can have multifunction. This one is proved also for the noise barrier, or a fence, or a visual barrier maybe. So if you put it there, then it is in the city, close to the grid, where the power is being used, and it doesn't exploit any new land, because the solar parks are still out in the field and using land. The grid fees are, we saw the problems as well, the grid fees are going up. So let's see something about this technology that also is very good for India. So this is not the real monocrystalline panel. It is a HIT, hetero-intrinsic thin film, which means that it actually has two layers. It has a substrate, a crystalline substrate, and then amorphous silicon layers on top and below. And this gives you an advantage in fields like backside energy yield, which I was talking about when the sun reflects back on the backside. And then you have the performance increase due to temperature, because normally it is silver here as a conductor that once it gets hot by the sunlight, it increases the resistance. And by using a HIT, you can have a less such influence and winning like 5%. So typically using this like this, you would gain 18%. And I want to show something that we have done here in India in terms of that. And here we have a normal crystalline system where on a perfect day we might reach 4.5 units per kilowatt and day, and on an imperfect day 3.8. And now I'm showing you a system in Bangalore, which is elevated, very flat, as a false roof on top of a printing press, printing shop. And here we have a non-perfect day, actually, because you can see the ups and downs in the curve. And we reach 5.4 units. On a perfect day, we might reach 6. So basically, this is an increase when using it the normal way, so to say. However, we must go to Sweden to see how we can use it vertical to have some experience about it, but we are looking at that here in India, and soon we hope to have installations as well. This is a vertical testing facility at Linköping University, and the other one is a normal tilted with a normal panel actually. And here we can see the daily yield, the typical daily yield, where the yield goes up to 8.1, and typically it's at least 1 unit higher than the normal south-facing. And here you can see a very good thing about the profile, the time of when this gets produced. So basically, if we can produce at this time and this time, Mr. Batra was telling us that we are integrating 100,000 megawatts of solar, but if we can integrate like 20,000 megawatts using this profile, probably that will fit into the grid without too much of a hassle, because it is at another time. And therefore, there is hosting capacity due to the timing of that. Basically, some more experience from that. But I'm coming to another issue. In our market, in Europe, we have a deregulated electricity market where the price sets each hour. So actually, this gray line is a price thing. And then we have the orange line. That is a bifacial yield on the 12th of May 2016. And the normal south-tilted panel is blue. So here we can see actually using this vertical, we can see that this is done when there is most demand, when the price is highest of the power. Sorry. And also in the afternoon to some extent. We can also do this by tracking actually, because tracking will at least distribute all over the day more smoothly, all over a sunny day at least. So you can see the blue line here compared to the orange one with the normal peak. And we have an example where we calculated this from the Andaman Islands actually, just to see the difference and that we can minimize the storage need. So, and facts there is that any storage is just a cost, should be not used. And if we look back at that electricity market, here is the German spot market where you can see we have a morning top and then a very deep fall in pricing and then up again in the evening. However, the volume is still high, and this is due to solar. So solar is really pushing the hours down, which means that it starts to becoming quite much solar in that market. You can read more about that here. And here is some more pictures of how you can fit and make a vertical installation being used as a fence, or in this case, showing off to Luleå people. The funny thing about Luleå is that it is at latitude 67, very high in the north, which means that the sun will actually go around in the summertime. So, with that, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity.
What would be, now you portray your other experiments, what would be one or two recommendations for India that you'd like to see done here, if you had a choice?
Well, I see there is, I think I talked about it a bit earlier, but it said that India has the most railway, very connected railways. I think it's 65,000 kilometers, and that would be something like 130 terawatt hours of solar integrated in this way with another profile. I think railways would be a very good thing for that. Because also people actually, at least in Sweden, complain about the screeching sounds from the tracks and so on. So definitely railways is a good integration point for this vertical thing. But you must also start thinking about the overall usage of this, because here we have a noise barrier, and also in Sweden at least it's not allowed to walk on the track, so you need to fence it somehow. So you must see the value of this fence. And also I heard about someone who doesn't want people to look into their own house. When the train passes by, that's obviously possible. So this is also a visual barrier, and you don't get that via just buying a handrail. Do you want another question?
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll let you go for one question.
Thank you.
Thanks.